Happy Sunday, May 5th, everyone. Hunter here again at Weather on the Go. And in today's weather forecast, we're going to be looking at the temperature, precipitation trends, and any severe weather chances that we do have for our Sunday, May the 5th. And a multi-day dangerous severe weather outbreak is likely to unfold from Monday, May 6th tomorrow through at least Wednesday, May the 8th, possibly even into Thursday, May the 9th. We'll be going over the breakdown of what you can expect with this major outbreak of severe weather, and the long-range outlook into the middle of May will uncover the temperature and precipitation outlook that you can expect into the middle of the month later on in today's weather forecast. Hey, if you are here and you are watching this video right now, make sure to subscribe to my channel here at Weather on the Go so I can keep you updated on your latest weather forecast right at your fingertips throughout the year, whether it's covering severe weather, winter weather, hurricanes, anything. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. Also, make sure to press the like button, the thumbs up button down below, because the more people who view this video, the more people who are informed about the severe weather upcoming. So looking here at our temperatures this morning, we are waking up to some chillier air across the upper Midwest into the high plains here into the upper 30s to mid 40s. Some milder conditions across the south and the southeast. Temperatures from the Ohio Valley down here to the southeast and the deep south waking up into the 60s, if not the low 70s near the Gulf Coast. This afternoon, temperatures will be spring-like. East of the Rockies, well into the 60s for many of us. 70s and some 80s down here into the southeast into Dixie Alleys. Definitely feeling more like spring and summer out there this afternoon. Going back to yesterday on Saturday, May 4th, we did have some severe weather as a cold frontal boundary did move through the middle of the country, bringing more of wind and a hail threat. Thankfully, the tornadoes stayed at zero yesterday, so that was some good news. That cold frontal boundary is now setting up across the eastern Ohio Valley into the mid-south and the southern plains. High pressure behind that is leading to widespread sun-splashed skies across the upper Midwest into the high plains this afternoon. So definitely enjoy that up there. Looking at severe weather, though, ahead of the front up here into the eastern Ohio Valley, we have a marginal risk in eastern Ohio, western Pennsylvania, and extreme northern West Virginia. Also a marginal risk here into portions of the lower Mississippi Valley, stretching back into south central Texas. A slight risk, a level 2 out of 5 in the yellow shaded color, into southern Texas this afternoon. This could foster a threat for some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts in the areas affected today, and also some quarter-size hail as well. And we cannot rule out an isolated tornado or two, a 2% chance of a tornado and across portions of Arkansas, western Mississippi, Louisiana, getting into coastal Texas, but also southern Texas as well. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that. So the timing of the storms this morning, we have a complex of showers and storms moving through portions of Oklahoma, East Texas, getting into Arkansas and Louisiana. These could produce some heavier rainfall amounts, but also a lot of lightning, a lot of wind, hail, and a potential for a tornado. As we go into the afternoon, though, new development of storms will develop into southern Texas. We'll be watching these closely for severe weather potential. All three modes of severe weather, damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes will be in play. Also an isolated coverage of storms up here into eastern portions of Ohio, western Pennsylvania, and extreme northern West Virginia. Watching for that wind and a hail threat there this afternoon. And then as we go through tonight, we can't rule out a stronger storm up here into the Tennessee Valley or mid-south, but I think mostly the severe weather threat tonight will be much lower. And look out west, folks. We got snow flying in the higher elevation of the Rockies, and that is actually our next storm system we're going to be talking about in just a moment. But with the storm we're talking about today, we are seeing some heavier rainfall across Texas, getting up there into the mid-Mississippi Valley. We do have a moderate risk for flash flooding here across southeast Texas, with that slight risk of flash flooding up there in towards the mid-Mississippi Valley. This includes Little Rock over towards the Memphis region, Fort Smith, Arkansas, and the Texarkana region as we go through your Monday morning commute. So make sure you're watching out for that. Never drive on flooded roadways. Now, as we go into Monday, May 6th, a strong trough will be moving in. That's bringing all that snow with the cold air aloft across the Rockies, and that will be ejecting into the plain states, the central plains, Monday afternoon and Monday night. And this is going to bring a prolific severe weather event likely on Monday. We have already a day 2 moderate risk of severe weather, level 4 out of 5 for southern Kansas into west central Oklahoma here, from the Wichita region down toward Oklahoma City, Norman, Fort Sill, and Lawton, Oklahoma as we go into Monday. A large enhanced risk from Nebraska through Kansas down there into portions of the Oklahoma State area as well. Looking at the biggest risks from the storms tomorrow, it's going to be hail, folks. We have a 30 to even a 45% chance of hailstones of possibly up to 5 inches in diameter. Yes, you heard that correctly, folks. Very supportive of giant hailstones across this region, especially into southern Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and perhaps even northern Texas tomorrow. Also, very concerned about the tornado risk here. We have a 10 to 15% shading respectively in the yellow and red shaded color with these hatch marks. That means strong, if not violent, long track tornadoes will be in play tomorrow. And that tornado threat even extends outside of that area into Omaha, into Des Moines here, Kansas City, down here towards the Fort Smith and Fayetteville region in Arkansas, and the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So we have a large area at risk for tornadoes on Monday and a threat for wind as well. Don't sleep on the wind threat. That could produce some damaging winds over 60, if not over 75 miles per hour, especially here into eastern portions of Kansas. So a very busy day ahead tomorrow. And why are we seeing this? Well, looking at the parameters here, we have a very sharp dry line in place all the way up and down the plains here from the Dakotas into Texas, and we have ahead of that dew points advecting northward from the western Gulf of Mexico into the 60s, further southward extent here into Oklahoma and Texas into the 70s there. Very juicy atmosphere. We have a very strong cap here on the atmosphere across West Texas, but ahead of the dry line, the cap is not there, and we have very strong CAPE values, your convective available potential energy, that is actually going to be moving into the 3,000s, even 4,000s joules per kilogram range. That is extreme instability. We have a negatively tilted trough here, a mid-level jet that will help foster organization with these storms. And what's concerning me the most is this low-level jet in the 850 millibar layer. Monday afternoon, already over 50 knots here into the plains. That's already leading to these significant tornado parameter values up to around 5s, even 6s or so in some cases, from Nebraska into Kansas, Oklahoma, and North Texas. Watch as that starts to crank up even over 70 knots, folks, 73 knots there by Monday evening into Monday night. Look at these values, folks. This is as high as it will ever get. This is almost to 20s at the max, especially there in that moderate risk area into southern Kansas, into west central Oklahoma, and even into Texas as well. So we're going to be looking at this potential high risk environment. Honestly, I think a high risk would be possible tomorrow if this environment comes to fruition. So let's look here at Monday morning. We're already seeing from sunrise, we're seeing destabilization of the environment. Dew points will be rising, instability will be rising, and then as we go into the afternoon, we're going to unzip that dry line, and we're going to start to see some very strong supercells from Nebraska down into Kansas and western Oklahoma. The southernmost supercells in that environment we were showing you with the significant tornado parameter space will be the most favorable for those strong to violent long track tornadoes. And then as we go into Monday evening night, while the tornado threat is still there, this will turn more to a wind and hail threat as it crosses through the mid and lower Missouri Valley and into the central plains. So we'll keep an eye on that. Going into Tuesday, that same trough will be ejecting now into the Midwest and the western Ohio Valley and kind of sticking around as well midweek into Wednesday, May the 8th. So another severe weather setup, this time further east into the Ohio and Tennessee River Valley, back here into the mid-south and the mid-Mississippi Valley here. Slight risk from Ohio, Indiana, and West Virginia through the state of Kentucky here, downstate Illinois, parts of Tennessee there, into Missouri, into Arkansas, into northern Mississippi. We'll keep an eye on that on Tuesday. Rich moisture off the Gulf of Mexico, folks, ahead of the cold front and low pressure system. Dew points 60s, 70s up here into the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley, and mid-south. Instability pretty strong, even the Ohio Valley, over 2,000 joules per kilogram. Southwestward extent back here toward the mid-Mississippi Valley region, we're going to be seeing values over 4,000 joules per kilogram. That is strong to locally extreme instability values. So Tuesday morning, already seeing some ongoing convection, thunderstorm activity from Chicago down through Indianapolis, perhaps the Lexington, Richmond region, and central portions of Kentucky. Large hail threat with that. Tuesday afternoon, starting to see scatter coverage of severe weather, but it's really Tuesday evening into the nighttime hours we'll be concerned about what we call an MCS, a mesoscale convective system that will develop near the Ohio River Valley from around Cincinnati through Louisville, Evansville, all the way back to Paducah there and in towards Little Rock. And we'll be keeping an eye on that for damaging winds, hail, and a few tornadoes. And then as we go into Wednesday, a large area here of a slight risk across the Ohio, Tennessee River Valley, the mid-Mississippi Valley, back toward the Texas and Oklahoma into the southern plains there. This could be upgraded to an enhanced risk or higher if we do get closer here, as we have a lot of parameters here on Wednesday as well. Dew points into the 60s and 70s. Instability very strong still as well. So storms already Wednesday morning there into Missouri. Could be large hail and wind producers that will only become stronger into Wednesday afternoon as they drop to the south and east into the better instability, and then into the northern part of Dixie Alley there into Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, southern Arkansas, back into northeast Texas Wednesday evening, Wednesday night, bringing a threat for damaging winds, hail, and some tornadoes. So, and then as we go into Thursday, even though the Storm Prediction Center does not have any highlights of a slight risk or higher yet, the values of dew points are still into the 60s, and we have a very quick access to them because the Gulf of Mexico is right here and Dixie Alley is right here. So it's not going to take much to get a lot of instability in this environment, and we could already light up storms again Thursday afternoon and Thursday night. So at least a multi-day outbreak from Monday through Wednesday, but that could even extend into Thursday as well. And look at all these rainfall amounts as well. With this system, it's going to be days and days worth of rounds of storms and severe weather. So the rainfall amounts will be stacking up over 3 inches in a lot of these areas you see in the orange and red shaded colors from the southern plains through Dixie Alley, through parts of the Ohio, Tennessee River Valley, but also toward the Carolinas and the mid-Atlantic here. Even the Northeast seeing some decent rains as well. So a lot of rain to go around as we go through Friday, May the 10th, but a little bit of a pattern change as we go into the next weekend time frame here from Friday, May 10th through Tuesday the following week on May the 14th. Below normal temperatures are expected across portions of the middle of the country, the Ohio Valley stretching back into the plains. Above average temperatures across the west and especially up there into the Cascades across Washington State and into Oregon. That will lead to drier weather across the Cascades in the Pacific Northwest. That drier weather will be across the upper Midwest into portions of the mid-Mississippi Valley. The more active weather, so to speak, will be across the eastern Four Corners region from Colorado and New Mexico through Texas, near the Gulf Coast, and then up the East Coast from Florida to Maine. And then even as we extend it through the Saturday, May 18th time frame into the third week in May, still seeing those below normal temperature anomalies across the east, warmer across the west here. And again, we're seeing that signal, or we're staying dry across the northwest and north and being wet, more active across the south and east. So we'll keep an eye on that as we get closer. Make sure, if you are not a subscriber here to Weather on the Go, hit that subscribe button. That's all you got to do below. We'll keep you covered on everything weather, severe weather, hurricanes, tropical storms, winter weather moving forward throughout the entirety of this year, as we will keep you covered on your latest weather forecast right at your fingertips. Make sure to leave a like down below, the like button as well. It helps out more than you know, and I hope everyone has a wonderful and safe rest of their Sunday out there.